Guys, our today's topic of discussion is Kelvin cycle of photosynthesis. Previously, we have studied about the Z scheme, or that is called the light dependent reaction of photosynthesis. Now we are going to start the next part of the photosynthesis reaction, that is called Kelvin cycle. Guys, Kelvin cycle do not require the light directly, so it is also called a dark reaction or light independent reaction because it does not require the light directly. But it can occur in the presence of the light also, and in the absence of the light. But the main thing we will need for this reaction will be the power of ATP and NADPH, and you know that the ATP and NADPH were forming in the light reaction. So that ATP and NADPH that was formed in the light reaction will now use in the light independent reaction and help in now the production of carbohydrates, or you can simply say that the glucose. So the Kelvin cycle is also called as C3 cycle, and why it is called C3 cycle we will discuss in the next detail of the cycle, that why it is called C3 cycle. Thus, the Kelvin cycle, if we talk about that where the Kelvin cycle occurs, then the Kelvin cycle occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. Here you can see that there is the chloroplast, structure of chloroplast is given, and you can see that there are some a coin-like structure in the chloroplast present, that is called as granum, and each granum contains the individual thylakoids. And we know that the light reaction was carried out in the thylakoids, but the dark reaction is present occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast, and you know that the stroma is the aqueous fluid of the chloroplast, and the dark reaction will occur there. So if we talk that why it is called Kelvin cycle, then guys, this cycle was discovered by Melvin Kelvin and his colleagues at the University of California. And Kelvin was also awarded Nobel Prize in 1961 due to the discovery of this cycle. So let us talk about that what is the relation between the light reaction and dark reaction. Then here you can see that there are a stack of thylakoids is given, and the light reaction is occurring. And guys, you know that the light reaction use the water and produce oxygen, and the energy in the form of ATP and NADPH is also produced in the light reactions. This ATP and NADPH is now used in the dark reaction and will now produce the glucose or simply sugar and NAD positive and ADP. And this NAD positive and ADP will again enter in the light reaction, and this reaction will carry out. So here you can see that the all reactants and products of the photosynthesis are used totally in the light and dark reactions. Means the light water is used in the light reaction, and the oxygen is produced in the dark in a light reaction, while the carbon dioxide, which is the reactant of the photosynthesis, is used in the Kelvin cycle or dark reaction, and the sugar, that is product of the photosynthesis, will be produced in the Kelvin cycle. So here we are going through the more detail of the Kelvin cycle. So guys, first of all, here are three carbon dioxide molecules given, and we know that the carbon dioxide is important reactant of photosynthesis process. But why these three carbon dioxide molecules are used and not one? The reason is that there will be the production of end product main, that is sugar, in the dark reaction, and that sugar will be the triose sugar, and you know that the triose sugar contains three carbon compound. It is a three carbon compound. So there is the need of three carbon dioxide molecule, so that these three carbon dioxide molecule will then give rise to a triose sugar, which will contain three carbons in it. So first of all, guys, here is the three carbon dioxide molecule will enter into the reaction, and these three carbon dioxide molecule first of all will react with the molecules of the RUBP, that is ribulose bisphosphate, and this ribulose bisphosphate is our sugar. Here you can see that the three molecules of the ribulose bisphosphate given, and the three molecule each molecule of the ribulose bisphosphate contain the 5 carbon. Here these light colored circles are meant for carbon, and these pink color circles are meant for the phosphate that is attaching to it. So the 5 carbons are attaching with the 2 phosphate molecules at both ends, and this each molecule is called as ribulose bisphosphate, that is RUBP. So the 3 total molecules here of the RUBP will be used. So guys, this reaction will be carried out by an enzyme that is called as ribulose bisphosphate, ribulose biphosphate carboxylase, and that enzyme is also known as Rubisco. And guys, it is very interesting to know that this Rubisco is the most abundant protein in the chloroplast, and is the probably the most abundant protein on the earth. So the reaction between the RUBP, ribulose bisphosphate, and the carbon dioxide molecule will be carried out in the presence of the Rubisco, and there will be the formation of now an unstable 6 carbon compound. These 3 carbons of the carbon dioxide will each attach to the each molecule of RUBP, and there will be the formation of a 6 carbon compound, uh, and these 6 carbon total there are three 6 carbon compounds these are formed. Now guys, these compound because these are unstable, so they will split from the center, and after splitting there will be the result of another compound that is called as phosphoglycerate, or simply as phosphoglyceric acid. And you can see that there are total 6 molecules of the phosphoglyceric acid are formed, and each molecule of phosphoglyceric acid contain 3 carbons. So guys, in the next step, there is now the use, and the ATP will be used. Here are the 6 ATP which will split, and why these are 6 ATPs? Because there were previously 6 molecules of phosphoglyceric acid. So there will be the splitting of 6 ATP molecule, and these 6 ATP will split into the 6 ADP molecule, and there will be the formation of 6 inorganic phosphate. And these 6 organic phosphate each will attach to these phosphoglyceric acid molecule, other ends of the phosphoglyceric acid molecule, and will result in the formation of these compounds, and these compounds are known as 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Why it is called 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate? Because the phosphate is attaching to the carbon number 1 and carbon number 3 of the of these compounds. Here, here it is the carbon number 1, and it is the carbon number 3. So this is called the 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. And there are you can see that there are total 6 molecules of the 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate are formed. After the formation of these 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, there will be the use of 6 NADPH, and these 6 NADPH are also coming from the light reaction. These 6 NADPH will split into the NADP positive, and there will be the 6 hydrogen molecules there are formed. Guys, first thing we skip here that the previous this reaction is called carbon fixation. Why this is called carbon fixation? Because the carbon that was originally the part of carbon dioxide molecule is now the part of an organic molecule. that is 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate. And this is because this is an organic molecule, so this carbon is now being fixed. So this step or this phase is called carbon fixation. And because the product of the initial carbon fixation is a 3-carbon compound, here you can see that this is the 3-carbon compound, 3 phosphoglyceric acid. So this cycle is also known as C3 pathway or C3 cycle. So moving back towards the step we left, that 6-NADPH will split into the 6-NADP positive, and there will be the formation of 6 hydrogen molecules. So because there is the release of hydrogen molecule, this step is called, or this phase is called, reduction. After the formation of the 6 hydrogen molecule, these hydrogen molecule will be then received by these 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate, and there will be the formation of 6 G3P, and this G3P is also called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. One thing, guys, you can see here that the phosphate that was previously attaching to the carbon number 1 is now lost. So there is also loss of 6 inorganic phosphates here. 6 inorganic phosphates. There is a now formation of 6 G3P, and this is G3P. One of these 6 G3P molecules will leave the cycle, and this is now the product, that is a triose sugar. Next, this triose sugar will conform the glucose or other organic compound that is needed by the cell. But the sugar that is directly forming is the triose molecule. So, in the next, there will be the remaining 5G3 molecules in the cycle, because the one is left over here. And these 5G3P molecules will then rearranged into the compound that is called as ribulose 5-phosphate, because these are 5G3P and these are total 5 molecules, and if you count the carbon number, there will be the total 15, and in here in the ribulose 5-phosphate there are also 15 carbon atoms. So this is simply the reformation, or simply the rearrangement of the carbon atoms here. Yeah, the ribulose biphosphate, and the next will again changed into the RUBP, and this step will be called as regeneration of RUBP. And but before it directly changing, there will be the splitting of 3 ATP molecule into the 3 ADP molecules and these 3 inorganic phosphate, because you can see that the difference between the ribulose 5-phosphate and ribulose bisphosphate is that the ribulose 5-phosphate contain only one phosphate at the carbon number 5, but the ribulose bisphosphate contain two carbons, two phosphate, one at the carbon number 1 and one at the carbon number 5. So there we need one more phosphate here, and this one more phosphate is coming from the splitting of the ATP. These phosphate will then attach to these molecules, and the molecules of RU ribulose 5-phosphate, and it will change into the RUBP. So this is the third phase of regeneration of the RUBP. So here you can see that firstly the carbon dioxide is fixed, then fixed into a molecule that is called 1,3-bis phosphoglycerate. Then this molecule is then reduced to G3P, and then these G3P will again regenerate the RUBP. So these are the 3 phases in which there is the use of the carbon dioxide molecule, and there is a production of the triose sugar, which will then combine with another triose sugar to form the glucose or another organic compound that will be needed by the cell. So here is the complete reaction or complete cycle that is known as Kelvin cycle. Okay, don't forget to share this video with your friends. Thank you so much.